folks, and start sharing.
Well, this is a monthly service contract.
What you want to talk about today?
Let's talk about plumbing.
Okay.
Because
I'm an expert at that.
Right.
Took care of the bill. They even paid for my car rental. And all Toco plans are backed by an AmTrust financial insurance carrier.
It must be expensive.
Not at all. There wasn't even a
So I have a very important question to ask.
What's that?
At the event for the panel, are we going to be standing or sitting? Because I'm going to wear these shoes if we're standing.
3316.
Okay. What are you going to wear if we're sitting?
Something nicer than this.
Yeah.
3316.
I don't know. Probably we'll have some chairs for y'all, but you can stand up and walk around when you're talking.
Oh, okay.
Because like I have a tough time
1 minute.
in an event like that where it's public and all that.
So we're going to be talking for each person. Going to talk for a few minutes. I
Yeah,
guess?
like 3 or 4 minutes, just kind of talk about, and then probably. There's 5, so if everybody talks like 4 minutes, that's like 20 minutes, and then open it up for like 20 minutes of Q&A.
Sounds good.
And then we'll do our talk about the weekend retreat.
On-demand video programming featuring Lucia Capital Group advisors who will help educate you about investing, give guidance based on years of experience in the financial services industry, and help you build a strategic.
You said 1 minute already?
Your investments. Wealthed.com.
Yeah, we have 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Now.
Wealthed.com. Securities offered through Lucia Securities LLC, member SIPC, and a
Turn that off,
subsidiary
turn
of
that
Lucia
on.
Capital Group, a registered investment
My
advisor.
ringer off,
All
that's good.
investments are subject to risk, including loss of principal.
The following program does not necessarily represent the views or
My feet don't
opinions
touch
of
the
the
ground.
staff, management, or ownership
can
of
lower
this
the seat.
station.
It's okay.
It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from
There we
taking action and succeeding today.
All right. Yeah, you like the graphics now that we have?
I know. It makes me look so cool.
Yeah.
My company looks so real.
Right.
Get ready. The guide that will put your fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1819.
Y'all.
Four. I'm a Texan now.
3,
2,
Now
1.
here's your
Hot
host,
mic.
Tom Perry.
Hey, welcome to the show. It's Right Path Real Estate Radio, where we give practical real estate investing advice. 713-785-1817 is our number. That's 713-785-1817. I'm joined live. Our first segment going a little bit out of order because traffic is
That's all right.
kind of messed up because Elijah's stuck in traffic in case he's listening. What's up, Elijah? Be safe. He said that the police officer there at the light has let 5 people go through, or 5 light cycles.
Oh, wow.
It's been stopped. So I'm joined, first segment, Michelle Imler. She's NextGen Appraisal.
Good morning.
NextGenAppraisal.com, 713-346-9911 is your number.
That's right.
So what do you see going on? Any craziness yet?
No, everything's fine.
Yeah, everything just a normal
Same
day at
old,
the
same
office.
old.
Right.
You know, okay, so do you remember the first time I was on the radio with you? It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, it's probably about a little more than a year and a half, right? Because we had just bought Allsay, so I think that's the first.
That's right.
Right.
And
We had a roof leak there, by the way. Not surprising.
that house is a curse.
Yeah.
So when I was on with you that time, you asked me about flood houses.
Yeah.
And I knew some, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And
You've become an expert since
right
then.
after that, there was, I think, the tax day flood.
Right. Mhm.
And yeah, so ask me your flood appraisal questions
Because now you're ready.
I'm ready now. Yeah, for sure.
So I know one of the things is, let's face it, that around town, there's some areas where there's some houses that have never, ever flooded. I mean, like we've got a house that's probably a mile from the office. It's in 77079 zip code, and it's in the 500-year floodplain.
Okay.
And so, normally you're like, flood insurance, who needs it, right? But we got about 2 foot of water in there. So, but what's interesting is if I go 2 houses to the west and cross the street, that house didn't flood.
Nice.
So we were like right on the cusp. But now if I go further south, deeper in the neighborhood, you get closer to the bio. And, so it's a memorial. It's nice schools. It's an $800,000 house normally. I mean, what kind of impact one flood, what's it going to have on the house?
Well, it's going to carry that now. It's a flood house now.
Right.
Even if it's never flooded before, even if it wasn't in a flood zone before, it's now a flood house, and that has to be disclosed at every sale.
Right.
In the future. Something else kind of interesting that happened is the MLS added a new field where it's yes or no, did your home flood during Harvey?
Oh, is
and
that
you
right?
can actually search for that now. So
Oh, wow.
I think for the next couple of years, it's going to houses are either going to be flood houses or dry houses.
Right.
I think that's going to be probably the first question people ask for the next couple of years.
And so do you think psychologically, is that going to have an impact on what people are willing to, I mean, because it's not like that house is now unsellable, right?
Correct. I
So
think it is
now
gonna
it's just
have,
a number, right?
Correct. I think it is going to have an impact, but at the same time, it's more than one factor at play. So we have obviously a supply shortage now.
Right.
And on top of that, we have increased demand.
Right.
Not only are there people displaced from their homes, but there's also people from out of town that are moving here, contractors, insurance adjusters, things like that, that are going to be here for the foreseeable future. So they're going to need a place to live.
Probably not an $800,000 house.
I don't think so. That doesn't seem like a wise investment for someone that's just going to be here temporarily. But I think rentals are going to be almost impossible to find here in about probably 6 months.
Yeah.
It's just going to skyrocket. We saw that with Katrina in Louisiana. They had a very similar scenario happen. Dry houses in Louisiana spiked. Flood houses went down. And there's just now starting to kind of
even out.
Return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think that Houston's going to be the same kind of market? Because I feel like we are so different from New Orleans in so many different ways.
We are. We have a really strong economy in our state as a whole.
Right.
There's a lot of things our governors have done to increase.
And we've got oil here.
That too.
Oil pays a lot of dollars. We've got a great medical center. We've got the port.
Right.
We've got chemical plants.
And we're just the sheer size of us. We're the fourth largest city in the nation.
Right.
So our economy is not the same thing. So again, yes, we have a much larger economy driving us forward and pushing us. And the people here are just phenomenal. I mean, I can't watch the news anymore. I just keep crying all the stories you see of people helping each other. It's just amazing. So
it's absolutely been incredible.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's that house. Then we also have, like I was driving down Braeswood yesterday from Loop 610 heading westbound, like towards, what is that, Hillcroft and Fondren, and it's like, man, this is the third time I've seen all these houses with all their stuff. I mean, just that entire South Braeswood was just lined.
Yeah.
Every single house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be their third flood. I mean, these people have got to be tired.
Yeah, I'm really interested and excited to hear what the insurance company, I can't remember his name, so sorry, he's going to be talking about tonight because...
Yeah, the guy from Benchmark.
Correct, thank you.
It's either going to be Hatham or Javar.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see what he has to say because I know that after a home is flooded 3 times, you can't get flood insurance anymore, correct?
I believe that's correct, yeah.
And so there are homes now in our market that have flooded 3 times recently, not just in their lifetime, but recently.
Within the last 2 years. I mean, it's 2 years plus from Memorial Day, which is in May, until now we're just at, so what is that, an extra 3 months, 4 months?
Right.
So it's 28 months, flooded 3 times.
Right.
That's, wow.
Yeah.
In fact, I know of another investor, won't name names or anything like that, but it's he's got a 4,000 square foot house in Meyerland that flooded he bought it after the first flood, got everything completely rehabbed, and it's a 4,000 square foot 1-story house.
Right.
And so then they looked into raising the house up, but I don't know if they ever did that. They had completely remodeled, and then it flooded the second time, and I think that they were going to remodel it again, but I don't know if they ever raised it up, and I'm sure it flooded the third time now.
I remember very distinctly, it's amazing how memories come back to you at certain events, but I remember having appointments and going to these, having these conversations with people of, it flooded in the tax day flood. It'll never flood again. That was the worst flood we'll have ever seen.
Right. Yeah, sure.
It's done. It won't happen for 500 years. And I'm sitting here watching the news like, oh my God,
this is the third flood. Yeah, this is I mean, what's the odds of this happening?
I don't know. And then we have Irma coming to Florida now. It's just,
Yeah. So, and they're saying that Irma might be more destructive than this was. I mean, this is flooding, but
right.
We really didn't get the wind. We didn't get the storm surge. We didn't get a lot of those kind of things. We got a little bit of rain.
Yes. Didn't they say it was almost a year's worth of rain in 2 days? That's just...
All I know is it's the first time that a storm has hit the coast twice. The same storm has hit the coast twice, and it's the most rain. I mean, there's been a lot of hurricanes hit the U.S. since they've been keeping track of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And apparently it's the most rain from any storm ever. So
Recorded,
it's like,
yeah.
So if your house didn't flood after all that, you probably, I don't know, should you not buy flood insurance?
I don't know. I don't think I'd make that assumption.
Right.
Because this was a very bad storm, obviously, but it didn't rain the same amount of rain
everywhere,
evenly,
right? Of course,
right?
Yeah.
So
even throughout Houston, the rain numbers are all different all throughout the city, by 6 to 10 inches or more, right?
I mean, so you can't really make the assumption of, oh, well, if it didn't flood this time, it won't flood, because you really just don't know. I mean, it's just a matter of where that storm's going to hit next time.
So in terms of getting back to values, what do you see? So pre-flood, post-flood. Expensive houses, not expensive houses, neighborhoods that, only had a few houses flood versus, I was talking with Jennifer Hernandez, who was on the radio on Tuesday, and she said that the neighborhood she used to live in, there was 50 homes in that neighborhood, pretty tight-knit little neighborhood.
Right.
45 out of the 50 flooded.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And these are all, $700,000, $900,000 houses.
I think of the open appraisal orders we had before Harvey, I think about 1 in 3 of them flooded.
Wow.
1 in 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, our appraisals were scattered all over the place.
Right.
So that's I don't know.
So your appraisal orders, I assume, have spiked now. Y'all are...
They have not.
Okay.
This is the calm before the storm for
Yeah,
us. We know it's coming.
Right.
And
Because I know a lot of the closings that were happening, they're saying, hey, they need another appraisal to go out.
Yes, we are doing a lot of disaster inspections. We just come out and see if the house flooded or not.
Right. So y'all actually going inside the house when all that happens? I mean, what does that involve?
Depends on what the client requests.
Okay, so it could be just a drive-by and you see that...
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see, okay, trash is on the curb.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious which neighborhoods flooded and which ones didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the entire street is lined with nothing but trash out front.
Yeah. A majority of our clients are hard money lenders, and private money lenders are all cash buyers. And I've noticed that they are actually going out and looking at the houses themselves.
Yeah.
So they're not ordering disaster inspections. But typically your conventional lenders, whatever, inventory they have on the books, they want someone to go out and check it and make sure it's not flooded.
Yeah. So y'all are doing that. What's your fee for doing that kind of drive-by check?
For an interior and exterior, we charge $125, and for an exterior only, it's $75.
Okay, so just drive by, $75. Take a couple of snaps as you're going by at 30 miles an hour.
Which kind of explains why people usually do it themselves. It makes sense for a conventional lender that has like 500 or 1,000 houses on the books, but if you have like 20 or 30, you probably are just going to go out and look at them yourself.
So if I've got 1,000 houses, do I get a discount on the $75?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You'll do that for less than $75,000?
I'll do it for 70.
You get a $5
74, yeah.
You get it. Okay, that's funny. So, and are you going out in your own personal car looking at all these houses?
I am, yeah.
Now, are you having a tough time getting around?
No, yes and no. There's still some lights that are out, so it's stop and go traffic. I don't know. If you're a native Houstonian, you're probably used to it a little bit. You kind of know what to expect.
Yeah. This is, I'm a native Houstonian, but this is way worse than, I spent 45 minutes in traffic just going from Gessner south to Memorial City Mall down to Memorial City Boulevard, which is just the length of the mall. It took 45 minutes.
Right.
That's not typical.
No.
Not even for a native. And I'm like, and there was nowhere else to go. I'm like, wow. And then when I was going to cut through like Bunker Hill and cross, Memorial at like Blaylock or San Felipe or San Felipe, depending on natives pronounce it both ways.
However you say it, yeah.
Yeah, right. And so, and it just, I realized I couldn't get there. So when Waze said go I-10 east to downtown, and I'm trying to get over to like Braeswood and Gessner. And it had me go to downtown on the other side by Minute Maid Park, down 288 to 610, cut over to Post Oak. That was the fastest route to get.
Yeah. I had a house I had to look at yesterday, and the route took me, and every time I tried to get to the house, so I exited and I had to go right to get to the house. And every right I turned, the road was closed. So I had to keep going, turn right.
Yeah.
Road closed. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get to this house?
Yeah, waiters.
Yeah.
Actually, waiters were out of stock until yesterday. Academy got another shipment. Ask me how I know.
I do.
bought a pair of waiters, hip waiters for my daughter and I, because
Okay.
we had to walk out to a house and there was water, not water in the house anymore. Thank goodness.
Okay.
And I think, man, we got so fortunate that we were actually behind schedule on our remodel. So really, we're going to lose downstairs interior doors and about 2-3 feet of sheetrock. We hadn't put baseboards back or flooring or anything like that, and some cabinets in the kitchen. Outside of that, I think it's gonna.
Do you think funding is going to dry up for these homes for people that are
for
investors?
private money lenders?
Just in general, because I just feel like there's such increased flux of people that are going to need money to rehab these homes.
Funny you should mention that. Jason's out in California right now.
Okay.
Talking to a lot of private money lenders that want to invest right here. People are really excited. We see this as a tremendous buying opportunity. I can't really talk about it, but if we were to put together a fund that were to have $50 million in it, to be able to, it looks
and that would only scratch the surface of what needs to be repaired.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Because we see some tremendous buying opportunities, and that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight at the event, and just what the valuations are going to be and what you see. Because I know Bear Creek, for example. How many times has Bear Creek flooded over the years?
I don't know, and I can't tell you how many houses have appraised in there, too.
Yeah. All right, so you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. I'm joined live in the studio with Michelle Emler. She's with NextGen Appraisals. That's NextGen, NextGen Appraisals.com, 713-346-9911. Let me check and see if Terry Todd or...
Are small returns getting in the way of your retirement plans? Why settle for mediocre results? There's a better place to invest. The experts agree. Single-family real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906 or visit our website, jbfundservices.com. That's 281-915-0906. This investment is offered to accredited investors.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started NextGen Appraisals. NextGen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Selecting a foundation company and their product for repair is a lot like a game of chance. You simply don't know what you're going to get. The foundation repair industry as a whole doesn't carry a license, nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of our files to give you the best foundation analysis in today's market. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825, or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
Have you ever experienced the pain of trying to get MLS comps for your hot lead? If you've lost deals waiting for MLS comps, you can understand the frustration. How much would it help you if you no longer had to wait for a real estate agent to get you the info you need to close a deal? Propelio is a brokerage website that gives you instant 24/7 access to high-equity lead lists and comps with access to a network of the top real estate agents. Get an edge on everyone else. Get a free 7-day trial today by going to getmlscomps.com now. That's getmlscomps.com.
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still available. You just have to know where to look. Look no further than Noble Mortgage. Noble Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company that's been helping investors since 2003. Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing to investors that covers purchase, repairs, and closing costs. In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage offers conventional loans, FHA, and even no-income documentation loans for both residential and commercial properties. Call and ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100, or visit us on the web, noblemoney.com, noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9999 $99.92 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start
How
to
much
finish
longer?
with a highly efficient, standardized process.
30 seconds?
Over the last
All right.
6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects.
Yeah, we're friends on-
which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success.
Who's up, Jerry?
Use a detailed scope
No,
of work
actually,
so
we're-
that everything gets
he's not
done.
here.
Train and maintain quality
Elijah's not there
crews
either?
so it gets
Nope.
done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
Call Tom at 713-785-1817.
All right, Tom.
And
Hot
look
mics
for us
in
on
5,
Facebook Live
4,
at facebook.com/RightPathRealEstate.
1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. That's 713-785-1817. So Jamie says, good morning. I'd like to hear your thoughts on how to determine the ARV now post-Harvey.
Okay. I think the first question I'd ask you is it a home that flooded or not? If it did not flood and is not in a flood zone, I would say just treat it business as usual as you did before.
Well, let me ask you this. And you're saying that you're going to see a spike on non-flooded homes. Why wouldn't you add 10%?
Well, you can if that's how you want to invest.
And here's the question and I'm saying, like, let's say that you own the house already and it didn't flood.
Right.
And so I guess that, like we've got a house that is just south. It's on the south side of the bayou instead of the north side. Like the one I've been talking about is on the north side of the bayou, right?
Mhm.
And it was in the 500-year floodplain.
Okay.
South side of the bayou, neighborhood that we had bought, and we've talked about it on the show before. The second house we ever bought was on this street. Here it is almost 4 years later. We bought the house right next door and remodeled that. Well, we finished the remodel the week of right before the storm came through. Like all we needed are final inspections. We did, yeah. So could not get into the neighborhood without, like, Jason came back. We finally got into town, all that kind of stuff. It was 4 or 5 days after the storm hit. Jason got his Tacoma truck as close to it as he could, got out, didn't want to take his truck any further, walked all the way back like 3/4 of a mile to get to the house, not a drop of water in it. So no damage whatsoever. So house was high and dry.
Right.
They were landlocked. I mean, a lot of half the neighborhood evacuated, all that. We were getting ready to put the house on the market for $460.
Okay.
Now, we're going to have a shortage of inventory, an increase of buyers.
Right.
Has that house gone up, stayed the same, gone down in value?
If you were to ask me to predict what's going to happen to home values that did not flood
Yep.
in the future, I would say we could probably see an increase of about 10 to 15%.
So now we're talking about that's a $495,000, $500,000 house.
Right.
Okay? Because if we're at 10% on a $460,000, that's a $46,000 increase.
Because again, you
okay,
have...
here's the thing, though. So somebody offers me $495,000 for the house.
Uh-huh.
Now you come in as an appraisal for the
Right.
mortgage company. There's no comp that says it's $495,000. Is it going to appraise at that?
It's probably not.
Okay, so how?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you see the dilemma here, right?
I understand where you're coming from. What an appraiser is going to have to do in that situation, where if we have a definitive idea. So right now I'm just theorizing,
Yeah,
right?
of course,
you and I
right.
are just chatting.
But
and
the
that's what
market's saying this is what they want to pay for it.
But let's say in
But they're
3
using
months,
somebody else's money for it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's say in 3 months we know that we can start to see homes that are dry, that did not flood, are starting to increase in value.
Yep.
The appraiser is going to start putting more weight on listings and pending sales than what they would do on closed sales.
Got it.
It may still not justify what you end up selling it for.
Right.
But that's how the appraiser is going to mathematically approach.
So what's going to have to
determining
happen
that
is
value.
it's still going to have to appraise for the 440 or 460. Now, there's no reason why that evaluation would go down, right?
I don't see why it would.
So the only way we're going to get higher numbers is people put $50,000 down, finance the 460, it appraises for 460. We have a conversation with the buyer on the front end. Hey, look, if it doesn't appraise, you've still qualified on your mortgage number on the amount that you're borrowing. So the number's still the number, and that's how you get a new comp, right? The buyer has to come up with the difference.
Right, correct.
Yeah, and the marketplace should justify that. So going back to so Jamie, I don't think that fully answered your question because you're probably asking about a house that's flooded.
So houses that did flood, we know for a fact that in Louisiana they saw a drop in prices of about 10 to 15% for houses that did flood. So we're not going to know exactly how that's going to play out here in Houston yet because like we discussed, we have a completely different economy, a much larger economy. But we do know that Maryland took a hit when they flooded the second time.
Yeah, they did.
Of about, I'm going to say 10%. What would you say?
Oh, I think it's more than that.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
So if we use Louisiana as an example and we use Maryland as an example.
Well, it depends on you mean the post-first flood or post-second flood?
Post-second flood.
Oh, I think it's more than 10%. Because the problem is, for a lot of those, you've got to go back and, a lot of them were selling for lot value.
Correct.
And lot value was way higher than what somebody could really do as an investor to build new home construction because of how much dirt work and you have to do pier and beam and all.
So you think the land value itself started to go down?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Because here's what happens. So I think that the people wanted $400,000 for the lots. And you can't really pay $400,000 for the lot because you're going to build at least a 4,000 square foot house in that neighborhood.
Right.
That's going to run you $125 a foot. You're going to be in at $500,000 on construction. You're all in for $900,000. You got to sell that for 1.2 or 1.3.
I need to get my calculator out.
That's okay. And now you're competing with Bel Air houses. And here's the question: is Bel Air $1.1 million or $1.2 million, or Meyerland for $1.1 million or $1.2 million? Is that an equal? No. No one's going to pay the same for Meyerland as you do Bel Air.
Correct.
So you're going to pay less in Meyerland than you will in Bel Air. So you can't pay $400,000 for a lot.
Right. So that's something, again, to keep in the back of your mind when you go out to buy these flood houses is what are your competing dry neighborhoods?
Right.
Then that's going to set your ceiling. So,
but in this case, Bel Air flooded this time too. Well, and here's the other
I don't know
problem.
where we're going to go to find these dry houses.
Even when, it's not all the houses in Bel Air.
Correct.
But even if you build new now, you can build the house up, but you can't build the garage up.
Right.
And so, we knew of a guy, for example, that in the 2 floods, he had a brand new house. House didn't get any water, but he lost $250,000 in cars in the 2 floods. I mean, he drives nice cars, right?
Okay.
But, yeah. And I know a lot of people that have those, they get a lease, they got too many miles on the car and they let it flood.
They let it flood.
I don't recommend that. Okay, we also had Steve Englehart ask the question, what percentage should you deduct from the current ARV estimates if it's a flooded home? Well, I think that's similar to Jamie, but now Steve, I know both these folks. You know Jamie Bounds. She and her husband Chris are down in Sugar Land. They run the Fort Bend RIA. Great folks.
Okay.
And then Steve, he's a buy and hold investor. Very, very active. He's been a part of our group for a while. They're killing it.
Right.
And so here's the thing: is they're buy and hold guys. And if I know what the numbers say based on comps, and you work a lot off of comps, but then I also look at supply and demand. If you understand Economics 101, which is different because you're really more historical, like what has already been happening. I see that.
Yeah, those two things contradict each other.
They do, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, man, I think that the price of houses where he is on those ARVs, man, rental properties are going to be in demand because there's going to be a shortage of rent.
There is. It's going to be absolutely a bloody market when it comes to just trying to find a rental, I think. We start
supply and demand, when there's a shortage of supply and increase in demand, prices go up. They have to go up, which is good for investors, which means that investors that are buying rental properties that want to be landlords, their values are going to go up as well.
Right, and it's not just supply is going down, so demand is going up. We're also having an additional demand from outside coming into our market as well. So
Correct.
There's a lot of things at play. We eventually are going to return to a sense of normalcy because we have such a strong economic engine.
Yeah.
But in the interim, if I had to give you a number in the future of what I think is going to happen, I would say probably 10 to 15% flood houses are going to take a hit, even if they were not in a flood zone. And I think that homes that were dry, because they're all that's available on the market right now, it's about to get really competitive. They're going to start to go up.
Yeah. Well, and the other factor, because, oftentimes the valuation of a rental property is based on the net cash flow. So if rents go up, then that's going to be, more revenue. So people are willing to pay more for those houses. However, keep in mind, just a caution, we want to give both sides of the story because we want to keep people on the right path. Insurance is going to go up. No question about it.
Absolutely.
And so for sure, flood insurance is. And what's amazing is I don't know that, and it'll be interesting to talk to Javar or Hatham, whichever comes in from Benchmark. And I've got at one time I was a licensed adjuster, and I've let that license lapse, but I'm friends with quite a few guys that have been adjusters for 10, 15, 20 years or more that are storm chasers, and they were just down in Port Aransas and getting ready to head to Miami and Florida and all that.
Wow.
Every time there's a big storm, they're there. But the regular, homeowners insurance and those kind of things, they're not really going to get hit that hard. It's the auto people, they've been hit hard, and because there's not that many roof claims, there's been a few roof leaks and things like that, but not like they're going to have with Irma, for example. That's and then if you didn't have flood insurance, you don't have a claim for your homeowner's insurance.
Right, and it's also a question of, I know FEMA is going to help, but I don't know.
But that's
how
not going to help.
much.
That's not going to hurt. That's not going to help hurt the USAAs and the State Farms and the farmers and the Allstates and the Geicos and people that have homeowners insurance in here.
Right.
I don't know that they're going to get hit that hard.
Yeah, I really don't know how much FEMA is going to contribute and what they are going to. There's a whole lot of stuff I've read about how they don't have money available and things like that. I don't know what all's true and not.
Well, I heard they just passed a bill a couple of days ago. It was like $88 billion for the bailout.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
just for this storm, $88 billion.
Right, and
that's
now
a little bit of money.
It's a lot of bit of money.
Yeah, that's a little bit of money.
And that's just for this storm, and we have others coming, obviously. So it's just.
Hey, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. I'm joined live in the studio with Michelle Imler. She's NextGen Appraisals. That's NextGen Appraisals, APPRAISALS.com. Her phone number is 713-346-9911. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. We've got an event tonight. If you want to continue this conversation,
yes,
we're going to do it tonight at 6 o'clock at 11451 Katy Freeway. You're going to have to probably leave your house at lunchtime today in order to get here in time because traffic is bad, bad, bad. Don't plan on leaving at 5:30, your normal time, to get here at 6 o'clock meeting. And I tell you what, it is going to be packed. I had a guy yesterday telling me, well, I'm not so sure. Traffic's going to be really bad. I had a lot of people calling up saying, can you even get there? I've heard parts of I-10 are closed. I-10's not closed anywhere east or west. There's a lot of rubbernecking going on. People looking at the lake that's at North Eldridge Parkway.
I came from 249 Beltway 8 and got here.
Yeah.
Relatively easily.
Right.
I didn't have to take any back roads or anything.
So we're going to take a break. We're going to continue the conversation on the other side of the break. Stay tuned.
Mike's off.
Hey, Nikki, can you do me a favor?
Yeah, what's up?
Can you turn your mic up in our headset? Because you're telling me. I think you're telling me to go to break, and I'm not hearing it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Can you hear the music?
Barely. It's really light.
Okay.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was playing in the background or not, honestly.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Is someone else coming, or?
I don't know. Let me check.
Oh, okay.
9911, or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Are you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
This is Elijah. Test.
Yep, just have him go up a little bit.
Have Elijah go up?
Yeah.
Okay. You're on 3? Yeah, you are.
Jerry checking 1 2 3 1 2 3.
I'll go up a little bit.
All right.
Checking 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Okay.
The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here.
So we're going to come back at what time?
You're a rehabber, wholesaler.
We have 2 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm going to cut some commercials out of the last.
Okay, sounds great.
Break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. contact Benchmark about our exclusive.
Yeah, because we're gonna do PropertyCare and Fast Track together.
Okay, sounds good.
It's just we're all one big happy family.
4353. That's 281-569.
Thanks, man.
4353.
Yeah, not a
or
problem.
online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569.
I was driving by.
Or online.
I was driving down Ashford Hollow, I think it is, off of, and I saw one of y'all's for rent signs over there.
Yeah, the one, Ashford Parkway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked 2 miles on Wednesday to go check it out.
Oh, did you?
That was only one. I actually own that one.
Oh, do you?
And I was worried that it got flooded, and then
that's an expensive rental.
Yeah, I got it for real cheap.
How much you get it for?
$150.
Oh, I bought one in that right down the street from there for $110.
Yeah, I got it a few years back. I mean, I barely put any work into it.
Did you? We put a lot of work into ours.
Yeah,
the one on Ashford. Yeah, that turned out nice though, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up walking 2 miles to get to that one on I think Wednesday or Thursday last week.
I've got a meeting on Friday with another house in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
most of the neighborhood didn't flood. It was just
I know,
it was
right?
just the streets.
Yeah,
that's right. The streets were awful.
Carrot Hill. In fact, I went by Carrot Hill yesterday for the first time, and it it didn't get any water in it, but all the roads didn't have any problem getting to it.
Yeah. I talked to the neighbor, and they said it only went up to the curb, and that was it.
Oh, nice.
So like it didn't even come close or anything at all.
All right, 20 seconds.
All right.
So the last commercial break, I can make it. I have to play one more commercial to 60 seconds. Do you want me to just play that commercial, or want me to
Right now?
Make it?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, then okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you guys just have to be out at this commercial break on time, so I don't go over.
All right.
But you got a lot of time.
All right.
This is Business 1110.
All right, gentlemen.
Well, tell me what time we got to
take the break.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the break at like 52.
All right.
Look for us on Facebook
All right, guys. Hot
Live
mics in
at
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. We're also on the Book of Faces at facebook.com /Right Path Real Estate. So you can go there. We've got an event tonight at 6 o'clock, 11451 Katy Freeway. We're going to have a panel of experts talking about what impact the flood's going to have on property values, on investing in houses, on flipping, on buy and hold. What if it got flooded? What if it didn't? All those kind of things. We're going to continue that conversation. I'm joined now. Two of our radio show sponsors. I've got Elijah with Fast Track. I've got Jerry Tao with PropertyCare.
Morning.
So have y'all been busy?
It's a little bit of an understatement, I guess.
Just a little bit, little bit. So what are you seeing from the property management side, Jerry?
Well, I would say right now about 10% of our managed portfolio was flooded.
And you're managing about how many houses?
Right around 350.
Yeah. So about 35 houses.
Yes.
And I think a duplex and another house are two of the three that were ours that got flooded.
Yes.
Yeah. And really, I guess one of the things that was surprising to me is we called our attorney, and there were a lot of people that as tenants, they took off not just to get out of the way of the storm, but they went far. I mean, one of our tenants went to Arkansas.
Right.
And, a lot of tenants, they live, paycheck to paycheck, which is not uncommon. And she said, look, I don't have the money to get back and move my stuff and things like that. So here we've got, I don't know, on Cole Street, how many feet of water did we get? Ballpark?
Over 3 feet.
Over 3 feet. So 3 feet of water, which means the bed's gone. Which means that what people don't realize is you got a mattress that weighs 25, 30, 40, 50 pounds, something like that. Mm-hmm. When it's full of water, it's
a lot heavier.
It's like 10 million pounds.
Yeah.
Maybe a slight exaggeration, but it's like you need a forklift to get it out.
Yeah, you definitely need probably more than one person to carry it out.
Right. Yeah, and then. And so, do they want you to save that stuff, or because you really can't save it? I mean, it needs to be trashed. But as a landlord, we know we're making non-emotional decisions. They're making emotional decisions. It's like there's not like I can hire a pod and have it delivered out there and move all the stuff in there, because then the inside of that pod's going to get all moldy and nasty and yuck, and so all that stuff needs to be thrown away. But it's like you get a release. I mean, what? And the lease doesn't really address that. And I've even called my attorney and goes, there's not some hard and fast answer to that. So what are you doing in this situation?
Well, first off, like to your point, you had said you had a tenant that moved on to Arkansas, so we've gone through that process of having to reach out to every single tenant and making sure we get a response, and not just some tenant like, oh no, the rain was coming, so we left.
Yeah,
we have no idea what happened to the house.
Right.
So we didn't want to have a conversation with an owner 2 weeks later and be like, oh, actually, we just found out that your house was completely flooded and now there's mold everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
So we've gone through that process of making sure that every tenant has been reached. How bad the damage was based on their own assessment, which it varies.
Of course, right? Yeah,
like
you can exaggerate to both extremes, right? Yeah.
So we've done that. Now, as far as the lease goes, TAR even put out a release. From our perspective, and this is, I don't want to put it out there, but
you're not giving legal advice.
I'm not giving legal advice,
right?
But
you're not an attorney, right?
It says that if the house is completely uninhabitable and the owner is not able to fix it in a timely manner, then both parties can come to agree in the lease.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Like we've terminated leases on several. One the other side of that said, "Hey, I don't want to come back." And fine, so we let them out of the lease.
And when tenants are saying that they don't want to come back, that's not a
enough,
reason.
right.
That's not enough for us.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It has to be completely uninhabitable, and we're not doing anything to work to get the house back into shape.
Right.
A couple situations where we come across that is where owners are waiting on insurance.
Yeah. Right.
So there's probably a time lag where you probably will lose the tenant.
Right.
We can't keep a tenant in there.
Of course. Right.
We're not working to get the house back in shape.
Right.
For all the tenants that we're trying to work with the tenant, get the house
they still
back
have
in
a
shape.
lease.
Yeah, they're
bound by the
lease in
lease.
place.
Right.
Now, in your example, 613 Cole, she's already talked. I said the address, but anyways, she had a medical issue.
Yeah, right.
At the same time, where it really wasn't safe for her to go back into the property.
Right.
So that was a different situation, but for the most part, we are working to get houses back in shape, and tenants are required to be bounded by that lease.
Okay. And so with all the stuff, are y'all just moving it, or what's happening?
Well, we've asked tenants, and we're trying to get confirmation as far as their personal belongings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if
there's keepsakes or things like that they want,
they need to come in, get whatever they want to keep, and let us know, and then we can start working on the house. And again, to your point, even carpet right now.
Right.
I mean, that I try to drag a rug, and I mean it's
not going to happen.
Heavy.
You're gonna cut it up in strips and let's make it manageable.
So we're helping tenants move their stuff out as far as being junked out.
Well, I want to bring Elijah into this conversation. Elijah's with Fast Track. And by the way, PropertyCare's website address is propertycarehouston.com, 713-489-7653, 713-489-7653. Property managers are always kind of behind the scenes. You don't really want to hear from them or see them or anything like that. They take all the burden of managing your property off of y'all. You have a flat fee of $85, but man, y'all really earn your fees when it comes to events like this.
Yes.
Because y'all take a lot of the burden off of the property owners. But Elijah, Fast Track, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. If you want to type in a question on the Book of Faces, you can do that. We'll answer it live on the air. You can call in 713-785-1817. But I also want to let you know we've got an event tonight, 11451 Katy Freeway. You want to come to the event, go to rightpathrealestate.com to register for the event. rightpathrealestate.com. So what are you seeing, Elijah, with the flood stuff?
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. I would say that the main thing that we're seeing is people trying to assess in 3 different categories. You got the ones that had houses that were finished, that were ready to sell.
Yeah.
And some of those actually had contracts on them when the flood happened.
Right.
And then there's a mixture of some buyers actually still wanting to buy the property if it can be brought back, depending on the neighborhood it was in or the
at the same price and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
As long as it gets brought back to where it was.
Right.
And we have some that are wanting to terminate or get a discount.
Yeah.
We have some that are wanting to try to buy it as is at an even deeper discount.
Yeah, of course.
And then we have buyers who are looking at just redoing it and reselling it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have other situations like the landlord situation where you've got people trying to work with tenants to keep them, trying to, because of the damage, trying to actually get out and separate that lease so they can get their insurance money or other claims or other work done.
Right.
And then you have people wanting to buy these houses, right?
Yep.
So the ones that are flooded because they know they're able to get certain discounts on them and they're willing to take the either long-term risk or short-term risk on that. based on what they think they can get the price at. So we have quite a bit going on.
There's a little bit of going on,
Yeah.
And so y'all are having a little bit of demand, for services.
Caller.
So y'all are growing. We got a caller who wants to join. What's the caller's name?
It's Rob from Houston.
Okay. Well, Rob, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good. Oh, thank you. I have a court date this Tuesday in eviction court. I'm a landlord.
Yep.
And I was wondering if the justice of the peace are going to grant like a longer stay to the tenant, or you know.
Probably gonna have to call the court to find that out. I mean, I don't even know if your court is Highway 6 in Clay. I don't even know if that courthouse is even open at this point. So it really depends on each JP. So I don't think you can give one answer for all JPs at this point.
Right.
You know, our experience with eviction courts, though, is it no pay, no stay. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. You know, hey, everybody's got circumstances, everybody's got problems, but you're evicting. I mean, you would have been evicting even if it hadn't been for the flood, right? Because the person's not paying rent. That's
correct.
Yeah. So the fact that
I was working on this earlier, but I got delayed because the courthouse was closed for a week or so.
Right.
Where I live, where the property's okay.
Yeah, and so
they had more than enough time to pay.
Yeah.
I will tell you that we did on the previous flood, we had an issue with judges refusing to sign writs. So he was delaying signing writs, so we couldn't get our writs and get him out of the house. Because he just felt like people needed more time to get out of the house or whatever, so he wasn't signing any writs. So
so no legal basis for it. That's just his whim.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the downside. Is that I don't know if you know that in Harris County, well, in fact, in the state of Texas, the only people that are they're not technically judges; they're justices of the peace, and it's an elected position, and it's the only people that sit on a bench in the state of Texas that are not required to be attorneys. And so, if you wanted to run for a justice of the peace position and you were a janitor someplace, you can do it. Not putting down janitors. I'm just saying that, no matter what your background or skill set or anything like that, if you get elected, you are the justice of the peace. Now, most of them are attorneys, but it is not a requirement. So their whims can vary widely. So hopefully that answered your question. All right, so Elijah, are y'all growing? Do y'all have capacity? I mean, if are y'all seeing delays? What's the scoop?
Yeah, I mean, all of the above. Really, the short version is that there are certain standards we've always held to.
Right.
We're having to button in on those really closely.
Right.
We also have to take care of who we feel responsible to, those that we had just finished projects for.
Right.
That flooded.
You're right. You're taking care of your loyal customers.
Right. And then the concept of some of the new business that's coming in, we actually did increase our capacity to handle some, but there are going to be some delays.
Yeah.
On that. It's just kind of across the board.
And quickly, because we've got less than a minute, what are you seeing in terms of materials, supplies?
Supplies are somewhat there. Home Depot, for instance, has tried to make it so that they would bring stuff, but a lot of the stuff is not able to be ordered in local stores. So you actually
have to get it outside. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Go to rightpathrealestate.com. We've got one more section left.
Mic's off, guys.
I think that's true.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion in retirement
This is
accounts
just a 1 minute break.
Yeah.
So they can stay on if they want.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And then we have what, 5 minutes left or 4? How many?
Quest IRA is based locally here in Houston,
5 minutes.
Texas. At Quest IRA,
5 minutes and 20
we
seconds.
offer retirement accounts that can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more.
Yeah. That's Michelle just said that
IRAs
also, that MLS just added that
deals
feature.
all over the country.
Yeah.
We don't sell any investments or give advice.
We've got, if y'all want to stay on, we've got. Okay, cool. All right, cool.
And free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more
See, are you going to be here tonight?
visit our website
Okay.
at
Yeah, because I'd love to put you on the panel.
or call
Okay.
us at
All right.
1-855-FUN-IRA.
All right, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S. Call Quest IRA at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website, questira.com.
This is business.
You want to slide over?
1110.
Call Tom at 713-785-1817.
All right.
And look for us on
Hot mics
Facebook
in
Live
5,
at facebook.com/rightpathrealestate.
1.
Hey, welcome back. Jerry Ta had to run, so I'm still here with Elijah. He's with Fast Track Remodeling. That's fasttrackremodeling.com. Their phone number is 832-742-9992. They're a full-service turnkey investor-only general contracting company. So if you've got a vacant property, it's a flip house or a buy and hold house, you're not going to move into it yourself. It's not currently occupied. They're the company to call. The exception to that is air conditioning and roofing. So occupied, non-occupied, owner house, investor house, you'll do the roof.
If it's a full roof replacement.
If it's a full roof replacement, right?
Yep.
And y'all still give the same investor pricing for individual roofs. So right now, what's that about one? I'm going to say 200 a square or less, right?
Yep.
Typically going to be less than that, but just round up. I mean, right now, I think insurance replacements on roofs are about 300 a square.
Mm-hmm.
So investors normally pay closer to 200 a square, which is absolutely phenomenal. And then air conditioning work as well. You'll do air conditioning work for owner occupants, for non-owner occupants, for flippers, for buy and hold, for tenant occupied, all that kind of stuff. Correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing with the roof is we just charge a few hundred, maybe $200 to $300 more if the property has somebody in it.
Yeah.
Because you're working around certain things.
Right.
But it's
you have to do
$175 a square otherwise.
And oftentimes there's landscaping you got to watch out for, and there's a little bit more liability on.
But that's not as much like investor or not, because even an investor could have a property that's occupied.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Good.
So how? I mean, you've been driving the streets, right? I mean, yeah. So how many flood houses have you walked in the last?
She was. Yeah. There's. Well, I mean, we've got probably 20 that we've been in and out of in the last just 4 days, probably. Yeah. And then we've got another 5 that we're looking at as well. I think this is the biggest issue that people are having right now, is because it's unprecedented the amount that's happened, is that I think people are wondering, well, almost like if you're in a lane of traffic and you wonder, oh, is there a better lane for me? And you see a little, so you try to move over.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people trying to work the angle a little bit on this to see if they can get things done faster.
Yeah.
And they may have some avenue to be able to do that. But right now, capacity of those who are local that have been doing the work are at a close capacity, I believe, everybody.
Yeah.
And for a reason being, and if anybody doesn't understand this, just business-wise, the companies that have been working consistently in Houston, construction-wise, don't have crews at the ready.
Oh yeah.
For an event like this,
it
wouldn't make business sense to have a bunch of leftover crews. Just
my dad was in
around.
the security guard business, right?
Yeah.
And he had like 200 security guards.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't have any extra. He didn't have like an extra 50 in the warehouse sitting someplace, just waiting to go to work.
Just in case 100,000 homes to pop up. 50
guys, at $10 an hour times 40 hours a week. I mean, they just didn't have guys on the payroll, at the ready. So you take on a big, client or something like that needed, 20 extra guys. You had to go hire 20 extra guys. I mean, you only keep enough people on board. You don't warehouse people.
Right.
Yeah.
Or resources in that for that matter, right? And so I think that's what even Home Depot and others had realized, not just stores that flooded, but they don't have resource ready just in case a huge event happens.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make business sense.
What people don't realize is, like, I know Home Depot sent 11 buses of employees just from Dallas and over 1,000 employees from around the country, including managers and things like that. But you walk. I mean, there's so much that's missing because, like, you don't want to go into a mold house without a mask on, right? And a lot of these wet houses, even a small amount of mold is a lot of mold, and mold's really not the issue, but but the right masks are missing in almost every single Home Depot store, and they're expecting some in more next week. But next week's a long time. A lot happens with mold growth in a week's time.
So
you got a mask I can borrow?
Do
you really? Is it in your car?
Yeah. But in regard to the whole concept, I think that the timing is not, hey, we could wait 2 months to get it remediated. You can't, right? So I think the biggest suggestion is get friends, get some contract. I mean, everybody overnight.
Get the wet stuff out.
Get it out.
Get the wet stuff out.
But I would say business-wise, it's okay. Seconds. You don't need an expert, skilled laborer to cut that stuff out.
Yeah, the demo doesn't take skill.
Right.
FastTrackRemodeling.com, 832-742-9992, RightPathRealEstate.com. You need to show up at the event tonight at 6 p.m., 11451 Katy Freeway. No excuses for being late. Expect the traffic to be bad. It will be bad, bad, bad. I'll look forward to seeing you tonight, and I'll be in the studio again tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
We did it,
gentlemen. Have a good day.
All right, see you. Bye.
Bye.